Hello students, today I'll be doing a session of English grammar and composition meant for class 10 and the topic will be letter writing. Well students, as you all know, letter writing is an important part of a school activity which falls under writing skill, and this writing skill has to be executed in a proper manner. So a letter writing, when we do for exam or class, it has to follow some rules. So here, the letters is being divided, or say it has two types. The first one is formal, the other one is informal. So in other word, we can say informal is a personal letter. And this informal letter is being written to friends, family, or acquaintances. Here, acquaintances means to person less known or less met. Now, the purpose of writing these letters, it is to express feelings and emotions. The second is to describe an event or incident. The third, to send invitations or express gratitude or regret. And the last, to stay in touch with each other. Now, coming to the format, let us look into the format of an informal letter, which is to be written on the left alignment of a paper. So the first thing that we need to write on the left top is the writer's address. Next comes the date, next the salutation, and the body. Here, body means the main content of the letter, where we need to write in 3 paragraphs, that is the introduction, the second comes the main content, and the last is the concluding portion. Then, after that will be the subscription. We are to write to the person that we are writing. Next will be our signature, and that forms the letter, informal letter written on the left alignment. Now let's move on and look into the right alignment letter to be written. And the format here shows that on the top corner of the right, we need to write the writer's address. Along with that, below, we have to write the date. Then on the left again, salutation along with the body of the letter, where we'll be writing our introduction. Then the main content will follow, and ultimately the conclusion. And again on the right below, we'll be writing the subscription and the signature. Now comes the meaning of salutation here. This salutation, if we are writing a letter to our parents, then we'll be saluting them by writing dear or my dear father or my dear mother. Or say for brothers and sisters or cousins, we are to write dear brother, dear sister, or say we can write dear, my dear with a name. If we are writing for our relatives, then we'll be writing dear uncle or dear auntie, or say uncle or auntie with a name. Then acquaintances, when we are to write to people who are less known to us, then we can write dear Mr. or dear Miss with their last name. And the subscription, how to write the subscription here? If we are writing for our family members or relatives, we'll be writing your affectionate or your loving son or daughter or brother, sister or nephew. Or we can write yours lovingly or yours affectionately. Now, your affectionate will be written clearly. Now, with that and this has some kind of difference. When we are to write affectionate, it will be your, and affectionately, it will be yours always. And now, if we are writing for friends, then it will be yours lovingly or yours loving friend. And now, if we are writing for acquaintances, we are to write yours faithfully or yours sincerely. So now here, look over with to the sample questions that I have written here. The first one, write a letter to your friend telling him what you intend to do after the HSLC examination. So here you are writing a letter to your friend about yourself, what you want to do after your exam. So this comes under your informal letter. Then the next question here again, write a letter to your father or guardian requesting him or her to send you some money that you need to buy a set of new uniforms. So this question too stands or falls under the informal letter. Okay, after the informal letter, we'll come to the next type, that is formal letter. These letters are written to address a serious issue. So here comes the types, that is the business letter, the official letter, letter to editor, letter to the principal, also letter for job application. Now, this business letter is being written for what purpose? Letters of inquiry, when we are to inquire about something, or when we are to get some information, or say placing some kind of orders or cancelling orders, or say acknowledgement and replying to the letters. So that encircles the business letters. Now coming to the next is the official letters. So why we do write these official letters? We write these letters in terms of inquiry. Now next will be written for complaints to be made. Then next will be letters for requesting something or appealing something to the authority. Now next comes the letters to editor, where we write usually for newspapers. And these letters are written to inform or suggest on an issue which public suffers or public being hampered. So these letters are usually written to the editor of a newspaper. Now next comes, when we are to apply for job, we write an application to the authority or the particular job, mentioning the particular job, and where we need to submit biodata and resume along with the letter, and that will be for applying any job. Now next comes the letter to principal, and we usually say it's an application written to the principal. So in here we usually write this type of letter to the principal or headmaster for taking permission, seeking permission, or say seeking leave, or say complaint, etc. Now here look into the format of a formal letter written on a left alignment. Now, on the left top of the letter, we need to mention the writer's address, then comes the date, then comes the receiver's name and designation. After that, we'll follow the address, then comes the subject on what we are writing, and the salutation to whom we are writing to. Then the body of the letter, the main content. Then after that will be the subscription. Then with that will follow our signature and the name and the designation. Students now observe the format of the same formal letter. The letter is the same, but the thing is that only some of the things have been have changed their places. So now here the letters, writer's address, it has gone up to the right top. After that we'll be writing the date. Now on the left side again the receiver's name and designation, the address, the subject, the salutation and the body. And on the right side again, in the corner, we'll be writing our subscription, the signature, the name and the designation. You know, after discussing these formal and informal letters, we need to know some of the important points, because since we have come to know the difference between the formal and the informal. Informal, you can write your informal letter the way you want to, but a formal letter is always being written in a strict manner. We need to follow something. So here are some of the important points. Now let us look into it. For salutation, we are to write Dear Sir or Madam. Then for subject, we need to give an appropriate subject, which is we need to be a very pinpoint in that matter. Then for subscription here, we are always to write only yours faithfully. Now the main body of the letter is to be divided into paragraphs. Like the previous time that I have already said, it must have an introduction, a body, and the conclusion here. So it is being divided into paragraphs. Now, to start by introducing yourself and describing the purpose of writing, why we are writing that letter. Then comes the subject matter, which is written to be in detail. And the conclusion can follow with your suggestions also. After that, we'll be writing our signature, which will be our full signature. Then below that, we'll be writing our full name within brackets with full clarity. Now, with the language that we are going to use will be should be very straightforward, should be very precise and very brief and to the point. And the kind of things that we'll be writing should use a matter-of-fact style. We are not going to go beating around the bush here and there, but just to the point. Now, next is to avoid using long sentences. Since we are to be to the point, so we cannot use long sentences. And the word limit for this type of letter should be from 150 to 200 words. So now students here, I have given some sample questions. It's write a letter to the editor of a local English newspaper about frequent load shedding in the evening in your locality. So you are to write this in a formal manner. Formal in the sense that you need to strictly abide by the format that we have already discussed. And the second one, write an application to your principal or say headmaster praying to grant a half holiday on the occasion of a local festival. So here too, you need to stick to the guidelines that already been discussed, because you have come to know about the difference between a formal and an informal letter, where you need to follow the rules properly. Otherwise, writing a letter very abruptly or without clarity will not be the proper way of writing a letter. So with this class on letter writing, I suppose students, you all have been benefited, because you need to think on the terms of your exam point of view, since this letter writing it has a weightage of 5 marks. So with this, I end my class. Thank you.